What's good, YouTube? It's your boy EGF Hoops here with another amazing YouTube video. As you said with the title, we're about to go over the Lakers' struggles this season, where I think they will be or where they'll end up by the end of this season or postseason or wherever you think they're going to end up. But before we even get into that, don't forget that sub button. We're aiming for 50 subscribers in this video, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you hit that sub button, like the video. We're aiming for 7 likes, and comment down below where you believe the Lakers will end up, or if you have any problem with what I said, comment down below. We can talk about it. I will argue back at you. Now that that's over, we can finally get into the video. For the first part of the video, I'd like to address the Lakers defense. Currently, the Lakers are ranked 15th defensively, despite letting underwhelming offenses get what they want against them. Notable teams being the Timberwolves, who ranked 24th and managed to score 107 points on the Lakers. The Lakers also lost that game. OKC ranks 29th in offense, scored 123 points on the Lakers. The Lakers lost that game. The Rockets ranked dead last in offense and managed to score 117 points, while the Spurs ranked 23rd and managed to score 121 and lost in overtime. So take that 15th ranking with a grain of salt. It will undoubtedly fall to the mid-20s once they play a couple more teams with higher quality offenses. And yeah, with that being said, I don't really understand that Lakers are still ranked 15th defensively, especially after these back-to-back losses to the Bucks and the Bulls. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I find it to be no excuse that you're letting teams that are in the bottom 25 to 30 score over 107 points, with 3 of those teams all scoring almost 120 points plus against you. That should have told you something from the start. I was telling Mike about it. I have a podcast with him. I was telling Mike about it. This team is not that. The defense is not there. They didn't want to believe me. Everybody wants to say, oh, they won. Look at the positives. Look at this. And now that they're going against real teams or real contenders like the Bucks and Bulls, they're getting whooped. And by the way, the Bucks, that was Chris Middleton's first game back, I believe. Brook Lopez is still out. Dante, I can't pronounce his last name, even though it's my favorite team, is out. On the Bulls, Patrick Williams is not there. Vucevic has COVID. He's still been out, and yet they still managed to win. I believe DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, and Zach LaVine dropped 91 points combined. And you had Giannis scoring 50. With Drew Holiday shooting bad and Chris Middleton's first game back, he didn't look too good. But besides that, the Lakers losing Caruso while trading KCP is showing in their defense, along with the fact Wayne Ellington can't guard anyone. Westbrook's off-ball defense is atrocious, and Bazemore has been flat out awful on both sides of the ball, honestly. The Lakers ranked 5th in total opponents' threes made. They're 2nd in total field goals allowed, tied for 3rd in total assists allowed, 2nd in total points allowed, 12th in opponent field goal percentage, and 13th in opponent three-point field goal percentage. Overall, it's fair to say they've been a mess on this side of the ball, especially considering the fact this championship or bust for the oldest team in the league. Originally, I wasn't going to do this video in this format, but I had to go and look up some stats, and I decided to do it like this. Because I just didn't want it to be, I just watched the games, I'm just basing off the eye test. So I just went up and got some stats. Being 2nd in total allowed field goals is pretty terrible. Being tied for 3rd in total assists allowed is pretty terrible. Being 2nd place in total points allowed is terrible. And again, they're pretty middle in the pack when it comes to opponent field goal percentage and opponent three-point percentage. But now let's talk about their offense. Currently, the Lakers are ranked 25th offensively, which just shows how much trouble the Lakers might truly be in. Also take this with a grain of salt, since LeBron James has been out with injury. This still isn't something to be happy about or not pay attention to, though. With LeBron being in year 19, it's significant that the Lakers at least play average offensively without LeBron on the court. One of the biggest problems this team has had is turnovers. They average 17 turnovers a game, which is ranked 29th, only above the Rockets. The last team to make the playoffs while averaging 17 turnovers a game was in 1998, and I believe it was the Cavs. The Lakers haven't been too impressive on the offensive glass, with them being ranked 18th in offensive rebounds and 26th in second chance points per game. Not to mention they're also 23rd in opponent second chance points per game. Now let's get to what's really important on this side of the ball, and that is shooting. The Lakers are 10th in field goal percentage, which isn't bad, and they're also 6th in field goals made per game, all without LeBron James playing. Now the downfall is the Lakers are 20th in threes made per game and 13th in three-point field goal percentage, which all in all doesn't sound bad enough for us not to think the Lakers still have a chance to be a top offensive team once LeBron returns. But once you look at the big picture, it can be pretty troubling to assume a year 19 LeBron could fix all of this. Let me explain. The past 2 seasons, Anthony Davis shot under 27% from 3, with this year he's shooting under 20% and isn't even averaging a make a game. Same goes for Westbrook, shooting under 30% from 3 and has been inefficient almost everywhere on the court, which doesn't help when he's averaging a career high in turnovers. There isn't many lineups the Lakers can throw out there right now that won't cause some type of defensive issue or spacing problem that will hinder them once the postseason comes for sure. To end off this part of the video, the Lakers are near league average in shots at the rim and mid-range as well. So with the struggles of Anthony Davis from 3, Russell Westbrook from 3, Malik Monk is either hit or miss. Kent Bazemore has been flat out terrible. I don't want to say Kent Bazemore was ever looked at as a shooter, but they brought him in to play defense and be able to be a streaky shooter at best. He's not even being streaky. They need to just take him out of the rotation as a whole. Austin Reeves is injured. THT is just coming back. He's not the best shooter. Kendrick Nunn has been injured. LeBron James is averaging the most three-pointers in his career attempted. But let's get to the biggest dilemma of all this. The biggest dilemma for this team is the health of LeBron James. Now, we don't know if he's actually hurt or just attempting to cruise past the regular season, but what we do know is the last 2 of his 3 seasons in LA resulted in him being hurt and missing a subsequent amount of time. The 1 year the league was paused for months was the only time we saw LeBron healthy since becoming a Laker. This is the first time in LeBron's career that I can't count on him to be healthy or put everything he has to fix the mess of the team right now. The next part of the dilemma is that in the big picture, the Lakers are struggling with the top 10 player in AD and the all-star caliber point guard in Westbrook, which should say a lot considering most teams don't have 2 players that up to par. But since we've mentioned AD, let's not forget to mention his health concerns. It seems AD gets injured almost every single game. With LeBron out and a lot of the weight on his shoulders, it leaves me weary of how he will be once the postseason comes as well. To move on to the last player of the big 3, Russell Westbrook. We all knew that this wouldn't be a natural fit, but we all thought and hoped Russ would make some type of adjustment and change to fit his game more with LeBron and AD. Although it's not too late to adjust, Russ still hasn't done so. He's still the inefficient turnover machine he was everywhere else, alongside being a below average defender as a whole. His plus minus for the year is -67, and this was all during the easiest part of the Lakers schedule. Of their first 15 games, they played 12 of them at home, and they are currently sitting at 8-8. And as far as notes go, that's all I have for the video. But to really just top it off, it's pretty evident that the Lakers are just struggling pretty badly, and I just don't believe that an aging superstar in LeBron James, not to say he's not a top 5 player, because LeBron is a top 5, top 10 player until proven otherwise, or he proves me or everyone else otherwise. I don't feel like LeBron James will be able to fix this and get the Lakers as even a top 3 seed without possibly compromising his health. Something that if LeBron does, Lakers are not getting out of the first round and may end up in a play-in. Even with LeBron being healthy, I'm not sure if they win the finals or even make it to the finals with this train wreck of a team. I don't know if LeBron James fixes this. But y'all, that's about it. I love y'all more than I love myself. Comment down below what y'all think about anything I said. Anything I said that was off, just let me down below. If you want to argue, I will argue with you down below. Go follow me on Instagram at EGF Hoops. I have a TikTok, EGF Hoops. You can go check me out there. I have a podcast that'll be down below as well. If you loved how I spoke, I argue on there as well. I love y'all more than I love myself, and I'm out. Peace.